Algebra 2, target 6. I can factor a quadratic expression. Recall, when we were multiplying two binomials, for example, 2x plus 5 times 3x minus 2, we'd use the box method, right? You'd put one of the factors on the width of the box and one of the factors on the height of the box. So we'd put 2x plus 5 on the height, 3x minus 2 on the width, and then we'd multiply it inside each box. 3x times 2x, 6x squared. Negative 2 times 2x is negative 4. 3x times 5 is 15x, and negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Simplify to 6x squared plus 11x minus 10 when we combine our like terms. All right? Well, today what we're going to do is we're going to start here. We're going to start with the answer and work backwards. So instead of multiplying, we're going to be factoring, which is a fancy way of saying dividing. So we're dividing it into a multiplication problem. To factor, we do the same thing in reverse. All right? So we're going to start with our standard form, 5x squared minus 17x plus 6 in this case, and we're going to work it backwards. We're going to start, we want to know what a, b, and c are. A is 5, b is negative 17, c is 6. Second step, we want to multiply a times c. This is going to help us decide what to put in the box, or the boxes. So a times c, that's 30. And then we want to see how can we multiply to get 30 and add to get negative 17. Multiply to get 30, add to get negative 17. Now I'm going to create a list of all the ways to multiply to get 30. And I'm going to do that until I find one that adds to get negative 17. Right? Be systematic about it. It'll make it easier for you. So I'm going to start with the most simple number to multiply with, and 1. 1 times 30 is 30. If I add those, I get 31. That's not negative 17. So it's not 1 and 30. Now try the next number. 1 doesn't work. Let's try 2. 2 times 15 equals 30. Well, 2 plus 15 equals positive 17. So 2 and 15 doesn't work. However, if I negate both of these, negative 2 times negative 15, that still multiplies to positive 30, but now it adds to negative 17. So my m and n are negative 2 and negative 15. So now I'm going to fill in my box with ax squared, mx, nx, and c. So I'm going to make my 2 by 2 box. Ax squared is 5x squared. We're going to put that in the first box. 6 is c. That's going to go in the last box. And then these two boxes right here, we're going to do negative 17x, because those are combining. We're going to write negative 17x in two pieces. Negative 2x and negative 15x. Now what I do is I work backwards. And I'm going to say, okay, what did I multiply to get 5x squared and negative 15x? Basically, what do these two terms have in common? Well, as I look at the number 5 and 15, they have 5 in common, and they both have at least an x. So I can factor 5x out from there. Okay, I'll look at it this way here. They both are multiples of 2. This is a negative, so I'm going to pull out negative 2. So they have negative 2 in common. Now, go up. Do the same thing going up. All right? So going up, these both have at least an x in them. And then 5 and 2, they have nothing in common, so I'm going to leave that as just x. Going up here, this is a negative, so I'm going to throw the negative out front. 6 and 15 have 3 in common, so that's a negative 3. And there we have our factored form. X minus 3 times, okay, so that's our width of the box, our height of the box, 5x minus 2. And that's how you factor. You're going to use the box in reverse. The rest of these videos on factoring are just practice problems. Here's some practice problems. Pause, try them as you can. If you're not ready, watch right away. So for 3x squared plus 20x minus 7, again, we're going to look and say, what multiply a and c, so that's negative 21. What multiplies to negative 21 and adds to 20? And again, just start trying numbers. Start with the easiest. How about 1 times negative 20? 1 times negative 21. That adds to negative 20, so that's not quite right. But if I change the signs, I'll still multiply the negative 21, and now it adds to 20. So I'll make my box. The 3x squared is our first term, goes in the first box. Negative 7 is our last term, goes in the last box. And then 20x is our middle term. We split that into negative x from right here and 21x from right there. And now, go across. What do those have in common? 3 and 21 have 3 in common. X squared and x have at least an x in them. Go this way. Negative x and negative 7 have negative 1 in common. Now we're going to look up. 3x squared and negative x, the only thing they have in common is x. Then going up this way, 21x and negative 7, they have 7 in common. So our factored form here is x plus 7, our width times our height, 3x minus 1. Looking at our next question, let's get rid of this one. Looking at our next question, our A and our C are 4 and 5, so we're going to see what multiplies to 20 and adds to 12. Again, start trying. 1 and 20 multiply to 20, but they add to 21, so it's not 1 and 20. 2 multiplies by 10 to get 20, and they add to 12, so it's 2 and 10. So in my box, my first terms are 4, in this case, u squared. My last box is 5. And then my 2 middle boxes are going to come from here, 2u and 10u. Then we're going to look across. What do we have in common when we go across? 2u and 5 have nothing in common, so that's a 1. 4u squared and 10u, they have a u in common. The greatest factor that 4 and 10 have in common is 2. Going up, 2u and 4u squared both have a u, and the greatest factor 4 and 2 have in common is 2. Going up here, 10u and 5 are both multiples of 5. So our factored form here, our width, 2u plus 5, times our height, 2u plus 1. Our third practice problem. All right, take a look. Our A and our C are 7 and negative 3. When we multiply those, we get negative 21. So we want to multiply to get negative 21 and add to get negative 20. All right, so as we take a look at it, just start trying numbers. 1 and negative 21 adds to negative 20. So that one worked right away. So we're good to go. Throw our terms in the boxes. Our first term is 7x squared. Our last term is negative 3. And then the negative 20x we split to 1x and negative 21x. And then we're going to look left, right, up, down. In common this way is just a 1. In common this way, 7x squared and negative 21x have 7 and x in common. Looking up, 7x squared and x. 7 and 1 are just 1. X squared and x are x. Then looking up here, negative 21x and negative 3. You always look here for your sign, so that's negative 21 and 3. The biggest number they have in common is 3. So our factored form for this one, the height is 7x plus 1. The width is x minus 3. We're going to stop here for today. Tomorrow we'll have more practice problems.